This book is a guide to getting lost. Well, kind of. The Good Girl's Guide to Getting Lost is essentially what it says on the tin. It is the ultimate travel guide for someone who hasn't done much of it before. It's very eat, pray, love, but with less of the spiritual stuff and more of the juicy travel stuff. And of course, stick around for more recommendations that need to be on your radar. And welcome to Bookmarked, where we find and review some of the best books about life. So the book follows Rachel as she travels first to Ireland, then to Australia, and then to South America. And it's described as a year-long odyssey that takes her to 3 continents, fills her life with newfound friends, and gives birth to an unrealised passion for adventure. The main lesson that she learns along the way is how to live in the moment, and it sees her transform from a painfully shy girl who doesn't really know much about the world outside of America to someone who skydives and bungee jumps and camps in the Amazon rainforest and basically just learns to be a bit more free. So it is the perfect book for anybody with a bit of summer wanderlust or someone who just has the growing urge to pack the whole contents of their lives into a backpack and just hop on a plane, or anyone who just wants to start kind of pushing themselves out of their comfort zone a little bit more. It's split more or less into 3 sections: Ireland, Australia, and South America, and her journey starts in Ireland, where she heads to kind of halfway through her college degree. So she's pretty green behind the ears here and tends to do a lot of complaining about the weather and her inability to get a job. But it is a key part of the book because it's A, where she realises that she wants to see more of the world, and B, where she meets Carly, who is pretty much the catalyst for the rest of Rachel's travels and responsible for the whole book. So Carly is pretty much the exact opposite of Rachel. She's Australian, she's tanned, she's confident, she's outgoing, and she's a very well-seasoned traveller. So she's already seen a lot of the world and she doesn't really have any plans for her future except to keep seeing more of it. So of course they end up becoming friends, a classic opposites attract situation. And it's Carly who asks Rachel to come and stay with her family in Australia and insists that she uses the house as a base camp and a kind of storage unit while she explores the land down under. And it's also Carly who invites Rachel to come to South America to meet up with her a few months later. Now, if you're liking the sound of this book so far, you absolutely need to add Eat, Pray, Love to your list. And it's also a travel book. Actually, no, it's more like the travel book, and it's been passed down from women to women ever since it was written. The author, Elizabeth Gilbert, goes to live in Italy and then India and then Bali. And in Rome, she essentially spends her whole time learning to speak Italian, eating great food, and embracing the concept of dolce far niente, which is essentially the idea that you should just enjoy doing nothing. In India, she goes to live in an ashram and she really leans into her spirituality. And in Bali, she goes to live with and learn from a traditional medicine man. And she encounters a lot of pretty amazing, inspirational people along the way. It has also been turned into a pretty famous film starring Julia Roberts, but just make sure that you read the book before you watch the film so you can truly appreciate the magic. But if podcasts are more your thing, you need to check out the Travel Diaries with Holly Rubenstein. So Holly is an entertainment and travel journalist, and every week she talks to a different traveller about the 7 different travel chapters of their life. They talk about everything from their earliest travel memory, the places where they learned the most, perhaps places that are at the top of their bucket lists. It's very funny, it's very inspiring, and it will definitely make you want to book your next trip. Okay, let's go to Australia. Not literally, obviously, just metaphorically, with Rachel. Newly graduated from college and absolutely unwilling to settle down, she goes to visit her new friend Carly in Australia. And let me tell you, she is so shocked by how differently Australians live. They basically live with a focus on just enjoying the world and everything it has to offer, essentially. And my favourite part of this section is where she decides to go bungee jumping for the first time, straight after she's just gone parachuting for the first time. It's honestly just such a well-written section. And as the bungee jump rope kind of yanks her back upwards, she says, "Have I ever been truly present in a moment in my life before now?" And at the same time, she notices that her friends are starting to accumulate apartments and careers and partners, whilst all of her belongings can fit into her backpack. But it's okay, because then she realises that she loves that feeling. Then the pair decide to go to South America together, but a problem with Rachel's visa means that she has to go to Argentina first by herself, which she really makes the most of to practice her independence. And in South America, she gets up to even more adventures. For example, from biking the most dangerous road in the world to trekking through the Amazon rainforest. To sum up, this book is so great because it shows just how easy it is for anyone to completely change their life, even if they're not a naturally dramatic or confident or kind of risk-taking person. It's all about taking chances, but taking them at your own pace, and reminding yourself to push yourself every now and then. It is the perfect book to read on your travels or as a post-holiday pick-me-up, and it will 100% lead to you booking your next trip. Okay, what book should we review next? Make sure to join us for the next episode of Bookmarked.